So Black HR has been such an incredible opportunity because not only has it allowed me to bring my expertise to an organization that touches everyone, it has been about growth, it's been about expansion, and it's really been about the uplifting and the highlighting of HR professionals of color.
Black in HR is a membership organization that means fun, professionalism. Creates opportunities, it presents opportunities for Black professionals all across the country.
It's an opportunity to reach back for people like me. I'm enjoying mentoring folks that are younger in their profession and helping them navigate. And so it's a perfect opportunity to network and connect with people in like-minded functions.
The Black in HR group is really unique as far as just how we interact with each other. I can definitely say it's a lot of intersectionality, it's a lot of cultural experience, and so it's authentic. And so when you put a group of people that are authentic and professional in groups like Black in HR, all you can get is excellence out of that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Career Salon. Our version of happy hour, and HR stands for, of course, human resources, but also for us HR professionals to have a little fun on a Friday evening. And we're excited to welcome our guests after our first guest after summer break, Glynnis Swan. Welcome to the Career Salon.
Hey,
Glynnis.
hi.
So before we get started, we need to do a virtual toast. Clink, 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 clink to welcome Glynnis.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here with us. And I know probably a lot of people know about you, Glynnis. You've helped so many and been so involved in your community and things like that. And also Black in HR. Shout out to Black in HR, who is our exclusive podcast sponsor. We thank you for all the support. But I just want to, before we get into our conversation, I just want to pull a few bits and pieces from your bio to get our audience familiar with you a little bit.
Okay.
So if you don't know who Glynnis is, she is a HR global mobility program manager, and she's a career and conflict management coach. She also has done things oriented towards diversity, equity, inclusion. She has over 15 years of international HR global mobility experience. She holds a Bachelor of Business Administration from the University of Texas at Arlington and a Master in Organizational Management from the University of Arizona Global Campus, and a graduate certificate in dispute resolution from SMU. And she has all the designations you think of, Black excellence in HR. That is Glynnis. So we're excited to have you, Glynnis. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we all have on our Black in HR t-shirts.
Right. Yes.
I know it's not that type of podcast, but I'm representing.
Awesome.
We're representing our awesome community that we all three are a part of. Is definitely, a community that helps to uplift and has that kind of cross connection from people from different areas, demographics in the Black community. They also have the collective, which includes other demographics. So go visit their website. But we're certainly excited to have you here, Glynnis. What me and Camille we call you the resume whisperer. Because I'm telling you, we are always on the community Facebook chat and all that, and they're like, I got a new job. Glynnis redid my resume, and we're like, and it was like for a minute there, it was like every other day it was popping off. Glynnis did something, and I got a new job, and it pays $30,000 more than what I was making. It's like, who is this Glynnis? what are you doing, Glynnis, to these people?
Listen, I don't do anything but tell people stories, like for real. I just tell people stories.
I like that. It's so amazing. Like you said, Carla, like you see Glynnis everywhere, and I feel like you're like the Wiz. And like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, because we don't see much of you, but you're like the quiet storm behind the scenes that's moving pieces, and prosperity just shows up. And so I want to know, like, let's start off the gate. What you enjoy most about helping people in their careers?
Really, I just love the sense of fulfillment that I get from empowering someone. So, having been a manager and coached people unofficially, in HR and just in any career, I have I just love making sure that people have the tools to do what they need to do and to be successful. And if that
Hmm.
means creating a bomb resume, then that's what makes me happy. So, and it's helping someone. I
Okay.
know it's real cliche when people say, "Oh, I'm in HR because I like to help people." Right? You hear that a lot. Like it truly
Yes.
gives me a sense of fulfillment to empower people.
I
Same,
love it.
same. And I
Same.
like it.
Yeah.
It's a quote that you sent us, and I love this. And I want to know, what it means, right? To
Hmm.
you, as an agent of change, I don't just settle
Hmm.
for the best practice. I seek the next practice. I
Purpose.
love that, Glennis.
Yeah.
So
I love it
when you
too.
wrote that, what were you thinking
Hmm.
about?
So I remember because I came up in the tax and financial services background, right? And I always used to hear this, what is the saying? The things that are constant is always death and taxes or something like that, and change, right? We
Yeah.
always have change. Things change every day, all day. And especially when it comes to things like diversity and inclusion and, all these things, people get so comfortable, like, "Oh, okay, we implemented a change, right?" But
Hmm.
look at how diversity, for instance, has changed from 2 years ago, right? In the
Yes.
last
Yeah.
couple of years, we've had so many things occur, from George Floyd to, just so many different things, and change has to keep occurring. So
Hmm.
I don't like to be comfortable in the fact, like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we've done this now, everything's going to
Hmm.
be okay." I always know that something else is coming. And so, having been a consultant for many years, I never wanted my clients to be behind the loop or behind what was going on. So I always sought out, okay, what else is coming down the pipe? What change is coming? And so that's when I coined that phrase.
Hmm. I love it.
I, I do
Yeah.
too. And
So
we
I'm
always,
I'm sorry. I'm
oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
I just have to add, right? So my clients would tell you, right? My shortened down version of that is stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, right?
I
Hello.
love
Yes.
it.
That- my clients would tell you that. That's what I always say.
Yeah, that's true because a lot of job seekers wait until it is too late or to they're experiencing something so tragic or traumatic in their
Hmm.
careers to where they feel
Hmm.
like they got to rush, 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 rush and get another
Right.
opportunity. And we know, as
Right.
even in the consumer market, when you do convenience kind of buying, you may buy the wrong
Hmm.
thing or it's too
Hmm.
expensive and it comes at a
Yep.
cost. And
Hmm.
that's the same thing
Yep.
in the job market.
Yep.
So what you're
Yep.
saying
Exactly.
is, stay ready so you don't have to get ready
Hmm.
because you might take a
Right.
job. It's like, oh, I got to take a pay cut, but I'm having so much
Hmm.
pressure in my current job. I don't have a choice,
Right. Right.
right? So
and,
yeah,
and it
I
and it goes
definitely agree with
beyond
that.
that too. It starts affecting mental health. We're seeing a lot of that. We can do a
Yeah.
whole 10 podcasts on mental health in the workplace, right? Behind
Yeah.
people not being ready for change.
Right.
So yeah.
I I don't know if since you brought up mental health,
Hmm.
and I know this is kind of an aside to like our
Hmm.
top subject matter that we wanted to discuss with you, but
Hmm.
I've been seeing a lot of leaders challenged with balancing supporting their employees in mental health, but also
Hmm.
trying to get the work done. So it's like, I want, it's people calling in at the last minute. I'm going to be off for the rest
Hmm.
of the week because I'm just not feeling it. Uh,
Hmm.
okay, but like, and then it impacts other people's mental health. Like, are you
Right.
seeing that uptick in that in your your HR colleagues that you're in network with, and how
Hmm.
would you suggest that leaders or managers kind of deal with that, what's going on with the
Right.
mental health crisis, but also trying to fulfill job duties and get things done?
Well, definitely, there's always the suggestion. Well, no, before I even start with the suggestion, we as leaders, right, have to be cognizant that there's a whole lot of things going on, right? So if someone is saying that they have a mental health issue, right, for me, that's like a trigger word. If I'm dealing with the program that I have and someone even mentions the word mental health for my well-being or something like that, I'm not going to be the one getting sued behind somebody, doing something that could be detrimental to their health. So as a leader, I encourage them all to, yeah, it may disrupt your business, right?
Right.
But this is somebody's life. Okay, people are committing suicide. Okay, people are killing themselves because of work. They see no way out. As a leader, if you genuinely care about your people, do you want that on your conscience? Do you want that on your mind? And what message does that send to your other employees? Right now, of course, we are here to worry about the business, right? We're charged with making sure that our businesses, we meet budget and, we satisfy the bottom line requirements and all of that. So
Right.
if you have a good team, right, your team should be able to help to backfill if they have to, right? Or you as a leader may have to roll up your sleeves and guess what? Do some work. So, and I've done that. I'm not just saying, oh, this is what leaders need to do, right? I'm a strong proponent of practicing what I preach. So I've had employees in that situation, right, where all sorts of things are going on. They have PTSD. They have what's that other Lord? I can't even think of it now. Not anxiety.
Depression,
I can't even think of
disorder,
I can't even think of the acronym right now. But
okay.
kids
ADHD.
is ADHD. That was it.
ADHD, yeah.
All the alphabets was floating around in my head, right? but ADHD, and I can't get to work before 10 a.m. every morning or something, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. I see you at 10 a.m., right? But then if it rolls around to 11 a.m. or 12 p.m., then I have a conversation. And if you can't work during some certain hours, right, sometimes, then you may need to get an accommodation. Employees, if you're going through this, right, don't just take it for granted, like, well, I'm just going to do this and they just going to have to deal with it, right?
Right.
There are avenues and correct measures that you should take. If you're not feeling it, that's great. I'll tell you, at Microsoft, we have the ability to take mental health days, right? We have sick days, and if you feel like you need a mental health day, you could take a mental health day, right? So some companies are progressive like that. But
That's
we
awesome.
can't just gonna be like, you know what, I'm not feeling it. I'm not gonna be here for the rest of the week, right? You have to be a little transparent with your boss. You don't have to tell them everything, of course, right? But I mean, if you feel like you're going through something, you should be able to share that. And then, of course, we have EAP programs. Well, most companies, certainly all the companies that I've worked for. So as a leader, you may want to encourage your employees to do that. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be very straight up. Sometimes I'll be going through stuff, and I tell my director, look, I'm stressed. And he will be the first one to say, okay, Glynnis, just want to remind you, we have EAP program. If you feel like you need to take off some time, let me know. We have a team who can help. Just let me know what we need to do. I know not all leaders are like that. I'm blessed to have a leader that's like that. So, and I think that's a good example.
Yeah, that's awesome, Glynnis. Thank you for that. I want to get into something I was thinking. We go like either sip or spill the tea, right? So I want to get. I want
Look,
to
let
get
me take a drink.
I want to talk about coaching. Yes, I definitely want to talk about in regards. So sometimes people feel like okay, I don't have it all together. I'm like a mess. I'm going to see a coach and they're going to do everything for me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about the first kind of phase of our conversation around coaching.
Mm-hmm.
What is coaching and what is not coaching? Do your
Okay.
clients have to meet you a quarter of the way, halfway? What do they have to give you to even for it to even be a successful coaching relationship?
Relationship. Okay, so that's a great question, right? Because when you when you started this whole thing, you said some people are a hot mess. Well, you might not have said hot mess, right? You said some people are a mess.
Yes.
And immediately right there, I'm thinking of some of the clients I've had who need therapy, right? So what coaching is not, it is not therapy. It is not consulting, right? It is not, oh, I'm going to be your friend and you can call and text me at all hours of the day and night and over the weekend because you feel like I don't have nothing else to do, right? As a career coach, because we have all different types of life coaching and all this other stuff, right?
Right.
As a career coach, I am here to help guide you. And most importantly, remember I said empowerment, right? To
Mm-hmm.
empower you to use the tools and that are within you to be able to deal with situations, right, in the future. So depending on what type of coaching they're coming to me for, if it's resume and interview prep, right, you kind of have a
Yeah.
product that you can expect, right?
Hmm.
I also provide coaching services where people may have difficulty dealing with conflict on the job or dealing with feedback or giving feedback, or different things like that. And so, as a coach, first of all, we have to talk about what is it that you expect. We have to set expectations, right? We set goals because coaching without any
Yeah.
goals is just a conversation, right? And I don't know if you just want to pay somebody to have a conversation. If you want to pay me to have a conversation with you, I am
Come
happy to
on.
do that, right?
Right.
But I I want you to have some measurable impact, right, on
Hmm.
the coaching. So if someone comes to me because they, for instance, are dealing with conflict, right? We examine, you know, well, let me just back up because I don't want to say we examine the past of what caused the conflict because that gets into therapy, right? Coaching
Right.
focuses on what is happening now, right? And how we can make
Hmm.
it better going forward.
Hmm.
Therapy focuses on, okay, what caused this? Why do you think, this has occurred?
Right.
And that is not
Right.
what coaching is. So if you come to me and you call yourself a hot mess, right? I'm not going to try to figure out why you did what you did, right? As a coach, I believe that you are a professional of your life. You know why you did what you did. And I have honestly told some clients, you know what? I think you need a therapist, right? I in a very polite, and respectful way. And I have had to remind
Yeah.
some clients, I'm not a therapist. And some clients are like, you know what, I know that and I have an appointment with my therapist right after you. Right. So that's one of the most important things I would share about coaching, about what coaching is and what it's not.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I I know you mentioned resumes, and let me just
Hmm.
say, we tell people all the time, people are always coming to us because they think we do resumes. We do not. We do career therapy.
No.
We do career therapy. That we do that.
Okay. Right.
But people are like, "Oh, can you redo my resume?" I know I work in HR, but I hate resumes. If I can
Right.
send a voice memo as my resume, I would rather do that.
That, yeah.
Like literally, like
Yeah.
when I have to redo my resume, I am asking for help as well.
Hmm.
And it's just something I'm not interested in. I know a lot of people they on the struggle bus, they try to do it themselves.
Hmm.
What are some of the top things that people should know about a resume that they
Hmm.
just don't? And you're like, wait a minute, how long you been working? You don't know this?
Okay. So there are some people that truly they have no idea, right? But my people who work in HR, right, which is about 95% of my clients, I
Ooh.
feel like you should know some things, right? So there's a list. I'm not going to go through the whole list. Some of the top things, a resume, the term resume, the act of writing a resume is not synonymous at all with a CV. We do not need 8-page resumes. Nobody is reading your 8-page resume. What that shows to a manager or a recruiter is you do not know how to concisely articulate your experiences. Your resume should be a snapshot of your most current or most recent experiences within the last 10, maybe 15 years, but nobody cares about what you did beyond that. And that may sound harsh. And I want to preface this by saying, right, I'm speaking in general terms, right? Depending on the role that you're applying for, if they require over 10 years of experience or 15 years of experience, you certainly want to show that, on your resume. And, that's not to say that all resumes must be 2 pages, or less, but they certainly should not be over 4 pages. I've literally had a client want to fight me over an 8-page resume that was in 10-point font. And I was like, there's no way. And I had to strip a lot of stuff out. And I don't like cutting, stuff like these are people's experiences, right? So I don't want to discount what they did. But nobody cares what you did in 1983. The people reviewing your resume, I promise you, the people reviewing your resume probably weren't even born or thought of in 1983.
Fact.
Don't include that. Okay. One other thing that I really want to share that a lot of people are not aware of is all these fancy graphs and multiple columns and stuff. That looks real cute if you're sending the resume directly to somebody.
Yeah,
If
via
you are
email.
via email.
Mm-hmm.
If you're submitting that resume into the ATS system, or uploading it somewhere,
Yeah.
that information is not going to translate well. It
Nope.
will. Some of those columns may or may not even come through. So
All we see is
yeah,
webdings, wingdings,
right,
squares, circles, triangles.
yeah,
I'm a recruiter. I see it every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many symbols.
yeah. Symbols, or you might even get blank stuff. Like, so if you have a column and all your contact information is on one side, right? If that's the column that doesn't get picked up, how are people supposed to contact you? They don't know who you are. They have a resume with no contact information on it. So, especially at Black in HR, now I'm not going to say I do a basic resume, right? I put some color in there, and by color I don't mean pink or green. Or I just had to
Oh,
say
you
that.
have to go to pink and green though, Glynnis. Let me pause
Okay.
for the shade.
To be honest, I don't put red in there either. I'm just saying, right? I just had to start off with pink or green. But I might use some shading, or things like that. But you're not going to see 5 different types of font, and all this other stuff. And I've had, again, clients try to fight me like, this ain't even cute. Like, do you have a more up-to-date template? Do you do whatever? And I'm like, okay, what do you want? I was like, do you want all the graphs and stuff that's not going to get picked up by the ATS system and it's going to come across looking like scribble to scrabble? And I'm going to tell y'all, listen, T for real. I did have one client, she was very, very upset. She's like, this template is just old and it's basic. And my response was, well, this is the template that got me a job at Microsoft. So there's that.
Right. Listen, and that leads me to another thing. Because, Carla and I, we've been in the game a long time. We know you have been too, Glynnis. One thing that I need people to do when you want to hire a coach or you're paying money
Mhm.
It's obviously not a strength that you have. You're hiring someone, but why
Mhm.
don't people listen?
Again, the majority of my clients are HR clients, and I compare that to, you know how they say doctors are the worst patients,
Worse.
doctors make the worst
Yeah,
patients,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you have people that are like, I work in HR, I look at resumes all day, and I'm like, but did you hire the people who had the resumes like that look like what you want your resume to look like? And it's, you
Hmm.
know what, I'm not saying that people should not have a say in their resume, right? As
right,
a matter of fact, I make this coaching a very collaborative process, right? It's a partnership. It's not consulting. Remember, I said coaching is not consulting. Okay. So I don't just create a resume and say, here you go, take it, right? No, I share it with you. I welcome feedback. We go through it so that you know what's in it. But some people have grand ideas of I'm just gonna rewrite this whole fictional piece of creative writing, right? And that's not what it is. It's like you said, some people know it all. I can't fault them for that. Like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm not here to, examine why people do that. But I feel like if you're paying a coach, whether it's me, whether it's anybody else, right? Make your feelings heard, right? You should definitely be heard, but you should also listen to the coach, right? You're paying somebody for their expertise. Okay.
exactly.
So listen to the coach. If you tell the coach, I need this resume, I want a job doing, being an HR director, right? And then you want to go out and apply for recruiting jobs, or you want to, apply for something in benefits that is
Hmm.
not what we discussed, is not highlighted on your resume because you probably don't have any experience in that, and then you
Hmm.
don't get a job or you don't get calls for interviews. Don't get mad at me, right? You didn't
Yeah.
listen to what we discussed. That's on you. So
Mhm.
that's also part of being a coach. You have to have those conversations. And what I like about the Black and HR platform specifically is, we're empowered to be real with the clients. Clients that come to me
Yeah.
through Black and HR, they know you are getting the unfiltered. Okay, I have to filter myself a little bit because I'm trying to get sued, but I'm trying to hurt people's feelings. But you are getting we don't sugarcoat things, right?
Hmm.
Trust your coach to tell you the best thing for you. Your experience is your experience. Your experience is
Hmm.
not Camille's experience or Carla's experience. I tell
Right,
you,
right.
one of the most successful clients I had tripled her salary. Actually, it was probably more.
Wow.
No, it was more than that. She was working three jobs, but her main HR job, I think she was only making maybe 30 something thousand dollars in HR with a master's degree, right? Oh,
Wow.
I'm sorry. I know that's a trigger word. I know that's a
That's a,
trigger
no,
word.
that's a trigger in the
That's a
Black and
trigger word.
HR community.
Teacher.
A
Right,
master's
right, right,
degree.
right, right. That's right. But she ended up getting a base salary of 185 over $185,000. That was just base salary. Okay.
Wow.
I did not wave a magic wand and do that, right? She did the work. That's another thing that we need to be cognizant of in coaching, right? Yeah, it's my job to create a new resume for you or help you
Hmm.
with interview prep, but you have to do the work, right?
Yes.
The things that we talk about, the things that we discuss, if you don't follow through on it, it's not hurting me, right? It's gonna hurt
Yeah.
you. She put in a lot of work, right? We had it. That was probably one of my best coaching experiences.
Hmm.
She made it fun, but she acknowledged what it was that she needed to work with, and she did the work. And I was like, dang, I need to do that for myself.
Yeah.
I know you were giving like we mentioned the trigger word for H&R
Right.
HR community in Black and HR. And so I want to pause and play a little game of yes, that, or nah. So the answer
Oh,
to these
Lord.
things I'm going to throw out is yes, that, or nah. So
Okay.
pictures on resumes.
Hell no. Unless you're applying to be a model, right? Yeah, unless you're applying to be a model, but generally no.
Glennis,
Okay.
on one of my resumes, I have
Hmm.
several versions. I have a picture,
Right. Okay.
and I did an A/B test
Hmm.
on my resumes the last time I was in a job search. The one with the picture got the most hits. But I typically, I'm a recruiter, right? So I
Right.
really don't like the resumes unless it's like
Okay.
marketing or something
Right.
creative or.
Right. So
But
that's what
I
I'm
I just
saying.
wanted to, yeah,
So,
I just
yeah.
wanted to
So
like play around with it. And but I guess that's because I'm in tech and it's more like startup Philly type of roles versus like more corporate.
so this is exactly what I'm saying. Remember, everything that I say is not to be taken as a generalization, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're applying to be a model, if it's a creative type of role, right,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe I wouldn't just put pictures on resumes all willy nilly, right?
Yes.
I'd have been in Texas for a minute because I say willy nilly. But I remember one of the first coaching clients I had a full length picture
Oh
leaning up,
no.
leaning up
No.
against this
No,
brick
no,
building.
no.
And I was like, no, first of all, right, pictures take up valuable space, right? So I tell my
That's
clients,
true.
your
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's
resume,
true.
the resume, I need you to think of it as prime real estate, right? You need
Yeah.
to be putting on there the things that are gonna want the manager to interview you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pictures can, number one, lead to bias, right? Because
Yes,
somebody
that's
may
true.
may instantly be like, oh, well, I don't want her. Her lips is too big, or her hair is too
Yep.
curly, or something, right? You're immediately showing, and then some people are like, well, they could see on my LinkedIn, and I was like, that's different. Usually, as a recruiter, and Camille, you're a recruiter, right? You
Yeah.
get the resume. Do you instantly go to LinkedIn to see if the person's black or not?
No.
And if you do, guess what? Do I want to work at a company that practices that? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, definitely it takes up valuable real estate. Again, remember
Mm-hmm.
we
That's
talked
true.
about things not coming through. The picture might not even come through.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? The picture might not even come through.
Right.
So different things like that. But again, depending on the industry, the organization, the type of job. If it's a startup and you can tell by the job description where they're like, hey, we need some fun, spunky people that blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. And sometimes they
Yeah.
have pictures in the job description, right? If you're getting that vibe, go ahead and do it. On a
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
general, I say no.
Yes.
Okay.
I love
So
this game. Go
sti-
ahead, Carla.
still playing yes, that, or no. Okay.
Okay.
So personal information on a resume.
Personal information. Okay, so I automatically will take out your full street address. Okay, nobody needs that on your resume. Let me tell you something. There's some crazy people out. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say crazy. My daughter's a therapist, and so there's words that we're not
Interesting.
supposed to say.
Interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
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 There are some very interesting people out there that will want to look up your address and Google, I don't know, what is it called? Google satellite or whatever, and look and see where you live, right?
Yep.
You never know who might roll up outside of your house, right? Don't put
Yeah.
your street address. They just need a city and state.
Yep.
And even for city, I just put the closest largest metroplex.
Metro.
So
Yeah.
like for me, I'm just gonna put Dallas, Texas. They don't need to know I
Right.
live in a suburb outside of Dallas, right? Also, you definitely want to have your phone number on there. We do not need to know that you're married with 3 kids and 2 dogs.
That.
Please don't put that. That does not need to go on your resume
Yeah.
Yeah.
or your cover letter or an
Yep.
application, unless you're
Yeah.
applying for some type of ultra secret service, right? Don't put that on
Right.
there.
Okay.
All right.
So yes, that or nah. Two more.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, HR certification or no?
Of course. Yeah, on your resume, yes,
No,
definitely.
I'm saying
But
like
oh,
period.
oh
Should
yeah,
people go for HR certification or it doesn't matter?
yes, definitely. HR certifications actually will show, right? They are a complement to your experience. HR is a very experiential field, right?
Yeah.
I would
Hmm.
value an HR certification, especially if you're trying to advance, in the field of
Yeah.
HR. And I mean certifications in any industry, right?
Hmm.
Shows that you have attained a level of knowledge or you've done some extra work to show, your capabilities in a certain field. So definitely, I
Hmm.
would I would get certifications. Now, you need to make sure that the certifications you get are not the $2 ones off of, I'm not going to name any specific websites, right? But make sure that there's some relevant certifications. So, i.e., in
Yes.
HR, you either want, the SHRM CP
Sure.
or the PHR,
HRCI.
SCR,
Yeah.
HLCR. Stick with some well-known ones,
Yes.
Yeah.
some reputable ones.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
And so our last yes that or
Hmm.
no is let's bring up the trigger word
Oh,
master's
Jesus.
degree
Okay.
or no.
So I'm gonna say, right, because I have a master's degree, so I'm not gonna say no. But if you have no experience, and we're gonna say HR, right? Since we're on the little HR thing, HR as an example.
Right.
If you have zero HR experience or even limited HR experience, and you are looking to advance, I would do the certification before I did the master's degree, right? Now, maybe the higher you get up, or if the MBAs, those are great. If you do not have the money to get one, I would suggest you getting a good job that will pay for your master's degree, i.e., the tuition reimbursement, or they have awards that they would give you to pay
Right.
for that master's degree. Don't just go ahead and pay for it and think that you're gonna make $100,000. And I say that
Hmm.
because I truly have clients, right, who
Hmm.
are fresh out of college. They just got their undergrad, or
Hmm.
they have a master's degree, but they've never worked anything besides as a cashier.
Hmm.
And when I talk to them, I'm like, okay, so what are you targeting? What kind of roles are you looking for? I want to be an HR coordinator and I need to make 6 figures. It ain't
Yeah,
gonna
no.
happen.
Yeah,
I
no.
had I've had a client working on a doctorate, right? A doctorate of business, right? And focusing in HR. And she has zero experience. It don't matter. It ain't gonna happen. You ain't getting 6 figures
Right. Because
unless
you have no
Yeah.
experience.
unless you are doing something under the table with somebody else and they slipping you some coins, you're not getting it. And that's a
Hmm.
hard thing to tell people because they're like, well, I spent all this money getting this. I have a master's degree. This is what I'm worth. And it's
Hmm.
hard to tell someone, I'm not going to tell anyone you're not worth that. And I'm not going to tell anyone you shouldn't have gotten a master's degree, right? I have one.
Right.
My daughter has one. We advocate for that, but certainly not if you don't have any other experience.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We're winding down our time, but I do have a couple more
Oh,
questions for you,
okay.
Glennis. One that I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to ask is you know, why do you think some people are like just really stuck at their jobs, and what
Mhm.
are some signals or things people should be looking for, or some
Mhm.
experiences that people are having where they should be like, okay, that's a signal I need to move
Mhm.
elsewhere?
I think I've had a lot of clients who they're just comfortable, right? They're
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
They know what their job is, and they know what to expect, right? And even though what they have come to expect, maybe abuse in the workplace,
Hmm.
right? And of
Mhm.
course,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about physical abuse, but
Yeah.
Right.
I've had clients that literally have had traumas in the workplace, right?
Yes.
And they feel like, oh, okay, well, it's gonna get better. I talk to somebody. If you talk to somebody and nothing's being done, right? Red flag. You need to go. They're not gonna do anything about it. As they're gonna manage you out, probably, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably gonna end up without a job anyway. So why don't you
Right.
leave on your own merit, or you set the
Right.
stage for how you leave and when you leave, right?
Yeah.
Um, you have some people who they're constantly being promised, oh, we're gonna, promotions coming or raises are coming. Then you've worked in a job for 5 years with no raises,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And then you complain and you're like, well, but I've been there so long and whatever, whatever. And so, what would be the incentive for them to promote you or give you a raise when clearly you've been satisfied with it for the last 5 or 6 years,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's a signal to move. Um,
Hmm.
those will probably be the main things. There's all sorts of reasons why people stay where they are, but you did mention about taking on experiences and taking challenges, right? If you
Hmm.
ultimately know that you want to do something else, it doesn't matter if you have a job as a cashier, right?
Hmm.
Be the best daggone cashier you can. Look for
Yes.
Yep.
ways to improve the customer experience, right? Look for
Yep.
Hmm.
ways to improve processes. Look for ways to make your colleagues feel valued, right? And then
Yes.
document everything you do so that when you come to me to get your resume done, right, we have some impacts that we can show on your resume. It's
Exactly.
I,
Yes.
I have too many clients that come in, they're like, well, I didn't really do nothing. I was like, okay, so you just got paid to go work and do nothing, like you've done absolutely nothing, right?
Hmm.
And then that's part of the coaching, right? I talk to them. I'm like, okay, so you know, tell me about have you ever trained anyone, right?
Hmm.
Have you did this? Have you did that? And they start thinking about like, well, yeah, I did that. And then we can craft a story out of that. Like I said, not creative writing, right? I'm going to say
Right.
what you
Right.
actually did, but start if you haven't done that yet, start doing that. That's especially helpful for people who are looking to move into management. They've been doing consulting, or they've been a lead for so
Hmm.
many years, and they can do the job with their eyes closed. They've just never documented what they've done.
Yeah.
Right.
We say that all the time. We have a
Yeah.
job journal.
Mm-hmm.
We tell people that all the time, but that's super important. And I think one of my last questions, and I will tell our audience that Glennis is an amazing coach. So if you need a
Oh.
coach, you just go to Black in HR and choose Glennis. We have seen so many, like, so many people talking about Glennis in a positive way, how she helped change their lives. And so I just want to bring that point forward. But I also want to ask you, Glennis, like, what
Mhm.
keeps you motivated to do this? We know you work, you're in your
Yeah.
career, you're
Mhm.
a HR professional as well, but what keeps you motivated to kind of continue to be in the HR community and help people along, taking that time away from your family to really invest in
Mhm.
people?
So I truly get a sense of fulfillment, by helping people with this. Of course, I get an extra little paycheck, and that's nice, right? But nothing makes me feel better than to have a client text me and say, I got the job. or I have an interview, or I'm making an extra $50,000, or something like that. I tell
Wow.
you, when I got this role, so I've been at Microsoft actually a year this week, right? When I got this job, my husband was like, "Oh, okay, so you could quit Black in HR now, right?" I was like, "Oh no." He was like, "But you make enough money, like you don't need the money." I was like, "No, I don't need the money, but I enjoy what I do, right?" And
Right.
as a person who I've been in corporate America since I was 21, actually since I moved to the US. A lot of people don't know I'm a first generation immigrant, right? So I moved to the
Mhm.
US from Bermuda. The first job I managed to get, I applied for out of the newspaper to Ernst and Young. Okay, I didn't even know what Ernst and Young was. I just knew that they had one of those in Bermuda, and if I ever want to go back home, right, then I just assumed, right, I just work for them if I ever go back home to Bermuda, right? And being going through those experiences and being in corporate America, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of people get laid off, and that's actually why I
Yeah.
decided to go into HR, right? Because I wanted to know,
Yeah.
how did people come up with these decisions, right? And I spent
Right.
probably almost 15, my first 15 years in the US in the financial services industry between Ernst and Young and
Mhm.
Deloitte, right? But
Mhm.
never wanted to be an accountant. I always, decided I wanted to be in HR. So, like I mentioned earlier, empowering people, giving them the tools that they need to succeed, right?
Mhm.
Um, that it's fulfilling to me. And when I coach younger people, especially that are looking for, how to choose their careers and stuff, I always
Mhm.
tell them, do something that you actually love to do. And that's
Yes.
something I wish that
Yeah.
I did. I took jobs because I had a young family. I needed to make money, right? And I mean, I've had some roles, or I've worked for a couple of bosses that I absolutely hated. I hated. I dreaded Sunday nights. I would get depressed because I did not
Ah.
want to go to work on Monday morning, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is not a way to live. And if I can help people avoid that,
Mhm.
then that's truly what helps me. You also know that, in sorority life, right, we focus on community, right?
Mhm.
Especially
Yes.
community of people that look like us. So that's just integral in me. That's just something that I like to
True.
do. I can't help it. It's just what I like to do.
I
Facts.
love it.
We could talk to you all day, all night. We're in
I know.
Texas. I'm saying it on the live that we have got to get together, go to somebody's
Yeah.
patio because I got PTSD from inside restaurants. So yeah, meet at somebody's patio. We still in COVID, and we have got to meet up and meet you, Glennis, because we
Yes.
truly admire you as another Black woman. We thank you so much for joining us today. And we thank our audience wherever you are, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook,
Mhm.
for listening in to this conversation. We hope you learned something. I put Glynis's LinkedIn, and you can connect with her on LinkedIn, but be mindful of your DMs. Make sure they are professional and related, you know. So, just make sure, we doing the right thing, we're not playing games. And we do have a question that we ask people at the end of our podcast,
Okay.
usually.
Uh-huh.
Um, so when you're thick in your business and you're working, you got a lot of stuff to do, you got a project that's really is due tomorrow. What
Mhm.
what song are you listening to push through?
Oh, wow. Okay, anything 90s R&B, honey. That's what I'm
Yeah.
listening to. Anything 90s R&B, any hip hop from the 90s. That's what gets me in it. That's
Yes.
my jam.
I love it.
Yes,
Yeah, and
same
sometimes
here.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I like to get crunk, so we go early. What we say, taking over for the '99 and the 2000. So
Right.
I'll go over to that a little bit, but you know, the more ratchet we could get, that's me.
Listen.
I love trap music. That's what gets me hyped, and that's what helps me to get my work done.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thanks for your transparency, honesty. Same here, like the same thing. We're hoping that our audience will share this with people that have these questions about resumes and different things
Coaching.
in the HR field, coaching, HR field.
Mhm.
Please share. A lot of people come to us. I'm pretty sure they come to you, Glynnis, for free advice.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
podcast is free, so
Mhm.
feel free to forward. Um, and and thank you so much. And we will see you all next time.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.